that
back.
readout. Look at that beautiful readout.
Welcome back.
Welcome back,
everyone.
First podcast of 2021.
2021. We're back from a nice, refreshing winter break, and we're ready to take this year by the bazalls.
By the bazalls.
And just fucking milk that fucker.
We're glowing up this year. It's chill spot, glow up year.
Yes,
it's
that's
happening.
exactly right.
We have plans.
We're taking it forward, higher and upward, Sam.
Yes, feels good.
How was your winter break, Sam?
It was good. It was refreshing. I needed it. It was the first time since I quit my job that I really felt like I deserved a break, and deserved to like sit around and do nothing for at least a day or if not more.
Totally.
And I needed that. So nice. I'm thankful for it. I'm grateful for it.
I'm very much the same way. I actually had no idea how much I needed a break, to be perfectly honest with you. There was a point like the Tuesday of the week where like it was a Tuesday. I didn't even have like D&D that evening.
Yeah.
It was just like, wow, I'm not needed anywhere.
Yeah.
No one's emailing me. I don't have to edit anything.
Yeah.
Like it was actually like almost a Zen moment of just like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
I'm at peace right now.
We should honestly do this. Like society should do this at the end of every month.
I agree.
Just
totally.
wind down, reflect, reset, and start again.
Let's make the months 5 weeks long. Like let's change that 5 weeks long. And that last week is a no one talk to me week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
I could petition that. Let's get the change.org post up right now.
Yes, please.
Sign your name. Add a fifth week to the month.
Yeah.
Do it.
There's like a 40 and a 41st day of each week.
God, that would fuck everything up.
That would fuck everything up. Leap year babies would alys get a birthday though.
It's true. It's true. We wouldn't have to do leap years
Actually, you know
anymore.
what? There would just be new leap year babies. Like people born on like the 38th of the month of February, like wouldn't have a birthday every 4 years.
Yeah.
Or would have a birthday every 4 years. But yeah. No, I just this is actually why I love Christmas, right? Like I feel like every year, especially more so as social tensions rise, every Christmas we come around and we're like, why do we, if you're not religious, why do we care about Christmas?
Yeah.
Why do we put so much on this time of the year if we're not religious at all? And for me, it's the last time of the entire year in our Western society where we decide to be nice to each other.
Yes.
You know, like it's the time where even if you're being a shithead to somebody will come up to you and be like, hey man, it's the holiday season. Don't be like that. We should have that all the time, but I am grateful for the one time of the year that we have it for each other. And you know, it's the one time where we really let ourselves wind down and relax and reflect and think like, how do I want to carry myself for the next chunk of time? And I think that that's so important, and that's why I love Christmas.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Well, I mean, the holidays for me was a great opportunity to do the things that I've been meaning to do all year.
Yes.
Like I started watching this little indie TV show. You might have heard of it. It's called The Mandalorian. You know, not popular at all.
You pull that shit all the time, but for some reason this time I thought that you were actually going to like say something.
Talking about some like indie fucking show that I found.
Yeah.
Found some French fart films or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, I started watching The Mandalorian and I totally finally, yes. If anything, I'm super late, and I dusted the first and second season in like 2 days.
Yeah, you got through it real fast.
Well, it's just so okay. So we talk about TV a lot, and for me, part of my New Year's resolution is to consume more television. Actually, to spend less time just doing the one thing I like, which is video games.
Yeah,
and like watch movies and watch TV and like Mandalorian was sort of the first step in that, right? It's so insanely watchable. Like you've seen a couple of episodes of The Mandalorian.
Yes, I have.
They're like 30 to 45 minutes long. They have like these really clear beats. The characters are all so much fucking fun. Fucking Baby Yoda. I get the hype now.
You get Baby. Yeah, I remember you texted me and you were like, I get it.
Yeah.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
Well, it's funny because when I first started watching The Mandalorian, I was like, okay, like I'm gonna be so sick of this fucking thing, this little green monstrosity, because I see it everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, especially working at a game store.
Yeah.
It was just fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
You watch the show and you're like, now I know why he's everywhere.
He's a baby.
He's so cute.
He's got baby qualities.
He's so fucking cute.
But it's a little Yoda.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it is so cute.
There's no spoilers. Well, this is not a spoiler, but I'm still not going to spoil it. In the second season, you learn his name. He has like a name.
Yeah.
And when Mando starts saying his name. Every time he says his name, it's like, ooh. The kid goes, ooh. But he makes that noise. He goes, ooh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh. Fuck. They're so fucking cute. I honest to God, it's been a long time since I've watched something and like immediately got it. Just being like, oh. Like, okay, you've seen the first episode.
Yes, of course.
The first episode ends with Mando and Baby Yoda meeting.
Yeah.
And there's that really, really awesome shot with the swelling music of the Mandalorian, who up until this point, as we all know, is just some kind of steel cold killing machine.
Yeah.
And he like puts his hand out and does like the baby finger wag.
Yeah.
And Baby Yoda reaches up for it. And I was like, oh, I am so on this boat. Like, you have no idea. Okay, so two things.
It's like the opposite of how you felt when we watched The Lion King.
Yes.
Like when I sat in the theater and we saw like the live action Lion King and the sun rose up the exact same way it did in the animated movie.
I think I went,
and the intro to Circle of Life went, I was like, oh, I just fucking bought this.
I can't believe I'm paying $20.
Oh, I got caught. I got caught.
It's the exact opposite, yeah.
But when Mando does the finger grabby thing with Baby Yoda, you're like, I'm on this boat. Yeah, I bought a ticket.
I bought the ticket. I paid for first class.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
I'm down for the ride. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's giving me lots of inspiration to now spend the time and get more. And I've seen all the Star Wars movies, but I've missed a lot of the extended universe stuff, which according to fans is where all the good content is. So I'm going to watch Clone Wars next, so I learned something. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking to you and Brad about Clone Wars and how I was having trouble watching it because it seemed really disjointed. Mm-hmm. Turns out, when Clone Wars was broadcast, it wasn't broadcast in sequential order. They fucked it up.
Okay.
And Disney Plus has it in the way it was broadcasted.
Oh, okay.
So I found the true episode order. Because, okay, I'll be honest with you, Sam. I watched the first episode of the fucking Clone Wars, and I was like, this is the first episode? This
feels like it's in the middle.
This doesn't introduce any characters. I don't know who these people are. I don't know who this bad guy is. What the fuck is going on? Like, because it was like the third season, first episode or something.
Wait, how did you watch Clone Wars to begin with? Did you just like find it online?
I've never watched Clone Wars.
Wait, so I'm a little bit lost.
On Disney Plus,
I
went to go watch Clone Wars for the first time. Ever, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode.
And on Disney Plus, it's in chronological order, but when it was broadcast on like TV,
it was like Teletoon or something.
They didn't show it in order?
No.
Why?
I don't know. I legitimately have no idea why they did that.
Okay.
I think a lot of the appeal for Clone Wars was like, and Star Wars is like this too, where it's like, they wanted to show you little individual snippets of a story within universe that could stand on its own, which like a cute thought, but the writers of Clone Wars gave it a sequential story. So why is it disjointed?
Why do you do that?
I don't know. I don't get it.
Why do they do that?
But I was going somewhere.
Why'd they change it?
But no, because back to Baby Yoda and Mando. Yeah. So I want to really illustrate this experience I had when I walked on the boat for Mandalorian. It was the evening and I was on vacation, so I got real high and I was enjoying myself truly. Like I was like, and then it got to that moment and like Star Wars music is so fucking beautiful, and I honest to God felt this swell of emotion where I was like, wow, this is a good show.
Yeah, I love that. I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what? I got into Dairy Girls. I mean, I had like been into it like slowly. I just sort of been like working my way through it, but I decided to just like muscle through and finish it. There's like 2 seasons on Netflix right now, and like there was a little bit of hype for it. I know like it has a fan base, and its fan base is like, why isn't everybody watching this show?
It's like Schitt's Creek.
Like, why?
Totally.
But I finished it, and it was also very endearing. It's about 4 girls and 1 guy in 90s Ireland, like during the Troubles, which was like a time of civil unrest between the Irish and the British.
Yeah.
I've Googled it. I don't fully understand like why it started, what made it last for so long. But literally like these girls were like born and this was going on and they were teenagers. So like they literally grew up during this period of like civil unrest and conflict in their country. And like there was a scene in the first season where like they're walking home from school together and they're talking about like teenage girl shit. They're like, oh, I think this guy likes me. I think this guy likes me. And there are like soldiers with guns in the background and they walk past them and the soldiers walk past them. They don't give them any trouble, but like there's a presence there and you just feel this like, so it was really cool to watch this like, you know me, I love coming of age shit, but it's cool to watch like this coming of age thing that's, it's a different culture. It's Irish. It's very Irish, but there's this menacing presence in the background. And I just got really into it. I was like, wow, like
that's fat. Isn't that cool?
It's also wild because we're living in a time where we're uncomfortable. We're living in uncomfortable times. We're getting comfortable with it and just kind of like accepting the fact that this is how the world works.
Totally.
So it was just interesting to watch that, but different.
Because it really goes to show that it's all over the earth. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
What you just said is probably my favorite narrative setup of like something that in terms of frontal like presentation, like Dairy Girls, it's comedic and it's fun and it's light and you watch it, but it's on the backdrop of this really genuinely harrowing thing.
Yeah.
And it creates this amazing relationship. I love shows like that. Like I love that setup, whether it be fantasy, sci-fi, or even slice of life. Like it's just so interesting.
That's why I love the whole like coming of age slice of life genres because history buffs and political pundits, they love to just get wrapped up in what the important people are doing.
Sure.
But what they forget is that while those people are in offices and, secret rooms and the rooms where it's happening, people are living their lives. People have to make do. How do the people that you forget about make do while you're forgetting about them?
Right. I see what you mean. Sure. Yeah.
And I love watching that. Because that is so much more interesting to me. That is so much more. I don't care if it's made up or, based on, loosely based on someone's real life or whatever. But, I'm really fascinated in how the people that public servants forget that they're serving take care of themselves and each other while these things go on.
Right.
And like Dairy Girls was really fascinating to me for that reason.
Cool.
It was just cool. I watched it for fun. I mean, like, I have a hard time watching anything just for fun because I love seeing how the sausage gets made. That's entertaining to me. But I really tried to just let myself enjoy it, And I did have my phone out and I was like playing Homescapes a little bit while it was happening.
Well, it's a show where you can afford to do that.
But I just let myself have fun with it, and it was a really, really fun show about friendship and growing up amidst trying times and just getting wrapped up in another culture that wasn't mine for a while.
Yeah.
It was fun.
And another thing that we've been trying to do in terms of entertainment is, you and I have been in a drag race hole for the better part of 6 months now.
Yeah.
But you and I obviously love other stuff, like dramas and other comedy, whatever.
Yeah.
So we've been trying to watch more and more stuff together. We watched Mank.
Yeah.
The David Fincher film.
I learned
Netflix.
that I should really just watch Citizen Kane.
I know. I was like, it's definitely not. We landed on it's a film that really doesn't hold your hand.
Yeah.
I kind of respect that though.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate that it doesn't have to.
Yeah. Yeah, get with it, Well,
because for me, like, I don't know about you, but with Mank, and no spoilers, of course, it all clicked at a moment, right? Like, specifically for me was like the dinner scene near the end.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That particular scene?
Yeah.
That's where it all clicked for me. Where I was like, I see what this all meant. Because there was a lot of stuff where I was like, why are we getting so much time with Amanda Seyfried's character? Like, I just don't get it. But I really appreciate how I powered through, and so did you. And like we kind of found that understanding at the end, and that ended up being, I hit the fucking arm. Ended up being a very rewarding experience.
It's also it was nice because we really set the scene for ourselves. Like we turned the lights off.
We got to do that all the time.
We turned our phones off and we were like, no, like we are going to watch this movie. We are going to focus.
We didn't even talk.
No.
The only thing I said halfway through the film was I have to go to the bathroom.
We didn't like make chirps or anything like that. Although I will say after that, we watched the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man and we chirped the shit out of that.
We're having fun.
That was a good time.
Totally.
And that was fun too.
It was a good movie. That movie is a lot better than I remember it being.
Yeah.
Like, I loved that movie as a kid.
I remember like I told you I wanted to watch it and you were like, Sam, this movie isn't good. Like we promised that we were going to watch good movies and like immerse ourselves in good cinema. And I was like, but I wanna. Why don't you wanna? And I wore you down. And then when you did, you were like, this is actually.
Well, you know what you did? Honestly,
this is actually good.
You know what you honestly did? You were like, you want to watch Venom? And I was like, no. It's like, let's watch Spider-Man.
Let's watch Spider-Man if we're gonna do this.
If we're gonna watch a shit movie, at least it's a shit movie that I enjoy. And you know what? I can honestly say with full confidence that it's not a shit movie.
No.
It's a very campy movie.
Oh, it's so ridiculous.
And it's very cheesy.
Yeah.
And none of the acting is good.
Yes, it is though. That's the thing.
Actually, Willem Dafoe kills it.
Like there's a moment because like I forgot that like Green Goblin kind of takes over Willem Dafoe's brain, so he's
weird.
he's not full villain all of the time. He's genuinely like, I don't want to do these awful things, but this entity is taking over me and making me do these terrible things.
Yeah.
So there's a moment where he's having a conversation with himself in the mirror, and evil Willem Dafoe is talking to him
in the mirror. Yeah,
in the mirror, and I'm like, this is really good acting.
It really is. Yeah.
It's in a campy environment, but I can see the wheels turning and what he's doing, and like, this is a really good example of like good acting. Like, I'm taking something from this. I appreciate this.
Well, he's just, I mean, people like to bag's not the right word. People like to, when they talk about Willem Dafoe, they say, you know, he's this creepy guy with this crazy like rubber leather face.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you're right. But that makes him a really good actor.
Yeah.
His fucking facial expressions are incredible.
Yeah.
You know?
This is the first time that I noticed that you can see his mouth in the mask.
Me too. I never noticed
like,
that before.
And I was like, ooh, like,
that's a cool detail.
like not to, you know, take this down a notch, but like, what that mouth do?
What does that mouth do?
What does that mouth do?
Willem. But no, I will say
it was just cool to like see him enunciating in the mask and like see the work that he was putting into like staying in character in the mask.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, like it's really. I will say about the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies is that the humor is still on point.
Yeah,
all the humor is pretty good. Spider-Man's quips are okay. Like I think that Tom Holland does a better job with the quips.
100%.
Something I really enjoyed was the suit designs. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man suit design, and for that matter, the Green Goblin suit design, slick as hell.
I love it.
They're really good designs.
I love it so much. The metal piping.
Yes.
I love it.
But it's really funny because I was thinking about this. I was thinking about the whole time, right? Because the first Spider-Man, obviously, you know, goes without saying, was well before the MCU, right? Well before they really knew how to make comic book movies.
Yeah.
And so much of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man both leans and doesn't lean on the comic book source material, right? Because like if you're a fan of Spider-Man, you know how Spider-Man works. You know that he's got the spider sense, you know he's got the webs, you know he's got the super strength. But they have to lay that out for you in a way that's not so hammy. But they ended up sort of getting this. Like, my favorite part of the early in the movie is when they're talking with the lab people at the spider lab. What the fuck that was.
Yeah,
like,
on the field trip.
We're researching spiders. For what reason? Shut up. How about that?
Yeah.
And the lady goes, we've amalgamated these spiders and it gives them a sort of spider sense. And I was like I can hear the Curb music in the background, like slowly. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, this movie. But no, I honestly really enjoyed myself. So can we say that we recommend Mank and we recommend
Sam Raimi's Spider-Man?
The duality of Chill Spot.
Yeah.
But we watched a bunch of stuff. I forgot what it's called, but we watched that short film. That short animated. What'd you say? Canvas. That was good. It
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 9 minutes long. Like, go watch it right now.
I mean, honestly, I got some small gripes with it, but like it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It's hard to dislike something that's 9 minutes.
No, it highlighted how relationships between the different generations can prove fruitful and rewarding. Yes. For everybody involved.
The storytelling is really great. The bones I pick, and I'll keep this real short, is just some of the Foley and animation is a little weird. Like, perspective wise. Okay. Like, there's a part when, like, the car of, like, the daughter and the mom pulls up, and I was like, that car is way too small. And then, like, the daughter gets out of the car, and, like, 3D animated kids got big old heads, right? That's always how it works, and, like, little bodies. But, like, the perspective of the daughter versus the grandfather is like all fucked up, and the daughter's way too big. And there's this, and again, I'm being really nitpicky here, right? I'm being a jerk, but like there's a point where he like knocks the canvas over in anger, and it's like toot toot, like that's sort of like the noise it makes. I was expecting like a crash, like a.
But it's made of wood, and it's falling on dirt.
But it didn't make any sound. I mean, it didn't make a convincing sound at all. It didn't sound like that either.
I disagree.
I mean, that's fine that you do. I just didn't. I honestly didn't think that it sounded like that.
I think that in your head you want a crash because it is sort of a
it's a penultimate. It's a penultimate moment.
It's a penultimate moment.
Yeah.
But I don't think it called for that, realistically speaking. And I think I think like the emotion is the weighing thing, not
Sure.
the sound.
Okay.
It's not to narrate.
And that's fine. Like I just said, like I'm just,
that's just my take on it.
I can't stress enough how I fucking cried at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really, really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely recommend Canvas as well.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story. What did you watch?
I've been watching Studio Ghibli movies.
Cool.
I watched Poko, and then I watched Howl's Moving Castle.
Cool.
And then I'm currently in the way of watching Porco Rosso.
Nice.
And I really, really liked them. So it's funny. I realized something about myself. I had this epiphany a couple days ago, where whenever I watch a movie, typically you want to watch the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Obviously, it's a whole story, so you watch the whole thing. But before lockdown got really, really bad, I would hang out with my buddy Brad, as we all know, and he would like put on a movie on his phone or whatever, and we'd watch like half an hour of the movie,
Right.
and then go home,
Right.
right? So I realized about myself, I was like, I really don't have any fucking problem with watching movies in 20, 30-minute segments. So that's how I've been doing it. Like I watched Poko. I was having a smoke, and I was outside watching on my phone, and then I finished up, and I went back inside, put it on the TV, and finished it. I watched Howl's Moving Castle on a full setting because I had all day to do it. So whatever, I just did it. And with Porco Rosso, I've been watching it in like 10, 20, 15-minute chunks. What it's done for me is that like every time I come back to the film, I have this almost renewed energy of like wanting to see what happens versus like
You treat it like a TV show.
a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh, I want like, oh yeah, this is what just happened. Like, I wonder what's going to happen next kind of thing, right? Which I understand is not the film experience. And if I was sitting across from Hayao Miyazaki, I'm sure he'd probably be like, hey, watch my whole movie, asshole. What's your fucking problem?
Yeah.
But that's how I've been consuming it. And I think might just have to be the way it is. You know?
Well, if it works,
It works. Works for me.
Honestly,
right?
yeah.
Doesn't bother me.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like the pause button is there.
Yeah.
They gave it to you.
I can download this movie on my phone.
Yeah.
So like legit, I'll be like doing work, like type. I'm gonna take a break and like put on Porco Rosso.
Did you notice recently that Netflix added a feature that enables you to watch things faster or slower?
I did notice that.
How do you feel about that?
I would never use it, to be honest.
I don't want to be ignorant of the fact that it's an accessibility thing. Some people may literally need to like slow things down in order to understand it better.
And if you need, that's fine.
If you need it, that's fine. I don't see why you need to watch something faster unless you were literally impatient.
That's kind of, okay. So I was just about to say, like, if it's an accessibility issue and you need if something becomes more clear and enjoyable for you because of these features, excellent.
Yeah.
I hope you use them.
Yeah.
If you're watching a movie on double speed because you have a lack of perceived time,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
I'm not even like that. Yeah. I'd rather watch a movie in clips than fucking
literally
than watch it
literally
twice
do that
the
then.
speed.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I have a hard time believing people have that little time.
Yeah.
That seems a little weird to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I have a friend who listens to podcasts in faster time because she gets through them faster. Like she just wants to like get through it.
See, I don't know. I have such a weird, like, to me, it's like you're just doing that to check a box.
Yeah.
Just, okay, like, if I do this, I can say that I did it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but like, are you really enjoying?
Okay, I did it.
But okay, in regards to your friend,
are you really listening?
In regards to your friend, like, I'm sure if that works for you, then fine.
Yeah.
But we're talking about like us right now, like our personal opinions, and that could never work for me. I don't see how that would ever work.
Yeah, I just like if you don't have time to consume the thing, then you don't have time to do it.
It's fine.
Do something else.
Yeah.
Like
find something that's a little bit shorter.
Yeah, if you don't have time to watch this episode, then you don't have time to watch TV.
Or listen to 30 minutes of it and then watch the rest later.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah, like if you got to do it that way, then do it that way.
It's going to be exactly where you left it.
I appreciate them adding it for accessibility purposes.
Sure.
But if you don't need it, don't be speeding shit up. Don't do that.
I wholly agree.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like, as a couple of artists, I would feel disrespected if I had put a lot of time and effort. Imagine we'll watch Mank on twice the speed. Like, you don't think that David Fincher would be like, okay, so that doesn't fuck up my pacing or like all the effort I put into the cinematography.
Yeah.
Or like the score is all fucked up now. Like you're literally ruining the movie.
Literally.
You're literally ruining the movie.
I mean, like we take pauses in scripts gravitas purposes.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, just like hurry up with the silent moments faster. It's like, no, like I put those in there for a reason.
Yeah, it's like, what are you, a fucking...
Why
like,
do you want to get through it faster?
Like a movie coke addict? You're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Daddy needs this movie. Like,
Faster.
I hate silence.
Yeah.
Like,
God damn it.
Give me a fucking break.
Like, why? I thought this time was all about, learning to slow down and appreciating silence, but I guess not. I guess some people still got shit to do, so whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the idea of a slowdown feature, like you said, for accessibility issues.
Maybe even, speeding up is accessibility for some people.
If that's the way it's got to be, then that's the way it's got to be. But I just think that, like, the notion of, like, okay, we only have 45 minutes, and we want to watch this hour and a half movie, so put it on double speed. It's like, what?
Why?
It honestly feels like, to me... Let me get a little frou-frou for a second here. It feels to me like that's contributing society's idea of like, just like, gotta get through everything. Gotta do everything. Like, there's so many TV shows. I gotta watch all the TV shows. How do I watch all of them? And it's just like, faster.
Guys,
and it's like,
give up.
If you're watching something to tick a box, you're watching something for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
You have to watch what you want to watch and just like that.
Also, like, there is a lot of TV.
Acknowledge that.
Give up. Like, I encourage everybody to give up on trying to watch every TV show.
Why do you think it took me so long to watch the fucking Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Because I was so bogged down every new week being like, okay, I gotta watch the Mandalorian. And someone would be like, oh, but you gotta watch Silicon Valley. I'm like, okay, I'll watch Mandalorian and Silicon Valley. And someone's gonna be like, oh, but the new season of Castlevania just dropped.
Yeah.
Okay, Mandalorian, Silicon Valley, Castlevania. And then it's like, that list.
Oh, man, oh my God, you're not going to believe this, but they finally put this like throwback show on Netflix. It's like, oh my God, I gotta rewatch this thing that I've already seen.
Girlfriends, it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
It literally results in me doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like, literally, that's what happens. I get overwhelmed.
Just give up.
And I'm like,
just give up.
Fuck this.
Just give up. We watch what we watch. We're not all going to be able to watch the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
And I'm so done with, like, I said a little hypocritical because I just said I watched The Mandalorian, but like, I'm really not interested in like hot button shows where it's like The Circle. Remember The Circle? On Netflix? Everyone's like, oh my God, David from The Circle or whatever.
That's kind of why I didn't watch Drag Race for the longest time. Because everyone was talking about Drag Race. I mean, like, I've said this before, I don't respond well to hype.
Yeah.
If someone's like, whoa, this thing, oh my God, I'm like, I'm literally not going to watch it in spite of you being excited about it.
You're screaming in my ear and I need you to stop.
Yeah.
That's how it feels, right?
I'm extra not going to watch it now because you won't shut up about it.
I'm trying to work myself out of that though.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit, for me personally, and like, really,
no, it's stupid.
It's a bit of a toxic mentality.
Yeah.
Because like, I feel like on some level, I think I'm better than people. And like, that's not right. That's not a way to behave.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, well, I mean, I'll be honest with you, hype trends, I am a total sucker for hype trends in video games. If someone came out and was like, yo, this game is like actually so good and everyone can agree on it, I'd be like, I'm gonna fucking buy that game. I'm gonna check that shit out.
Yeah, because gamers can't agree on anything.
Be a part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like, which is kind of funny considering that most movies are for free and you could just watch them all for free. Watch them on your streaming services versus a video game, which is like 90 bones. I certainly gravitate towards video games more and more. But yeah, man. I'm bad at responding to hype, and I got another New Year's resolution of mine is to be a little bit more open-minded. Maybe watch the first episode of something and be like, that sucked, and then just like stop watching it. But I think a lot of the hype, like actually on that note, while we're on the subject, and it's kind of interesting to talk about, a lot of those hype shows get better when people you talk to or people sort of tangentially watch it as well, right? Like we love Drag Race, obviously, but how much better did Drag Race get when we started talking about it with like Jen and Tony and stuff, right? And then it became this thing where it's like this common ground where like you and I have a lot of this bulk knowledge because we've been watching it for fucking 6 months straight. And like quite literally, I think there's like at least 3 podcast episodes where we just go off on these little like analytical tangents about Drag Race because it's been consuming our lives, right? But sharing that knowledge with someone else has been really, really cool. And I think that like, if we get caught up to the most recent season, like you and I could ride the hype train like someone would, and like
when they give you a cliffhanger, we can be like, holy fucking shit, what are they gonna do next week?
Yeah, exactly.
What are they gonna do? They just like they chopped a queen's head straight off.
RuPaul ripped someone's heart out.
What are you gonna do?
yeah, totally. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess that's gonna be part of my resolution for this year is to just not be such a douche.
Be less of a dick bag.
Be less of a douchebag.
Yeah,
just
totally.
Watch things because people like it. And it's fun if you do.
Yeah,
whatever.
if a bunch of people are into something, maybe look into it. Don't be like, oh, well, everyone's into it, so I'm going to leave that alone.
But I'm also going to give myself the room to be like, oh, everyone's into this? What is it? Oh, it's a dating show where you date a gorilla? All right, I think I'm going to skip that.
Maybe I'm going to skip it, yeah.
You know? But okay.
That doesn't sound like my bag. Dude.
Oh, there's this show that everyone's watching. What's it about? Oh, it's a murder mystery involving tigers. It's like, oh, I might watch that.
That's a concept.
That sounds cool.
That's a concept.
You know, give that a shot.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the show You on Netflix.
Yeah.
But with tigers. And instead of like humans, it's like literally a tiger stalking prey. But it's the inner monologue of the tiger. Like, it's the perfect antelope. The long cylindrical antlers. It's because it's you. You ever watch that show, You?
It's like, Cam, I think you're just watching a National Geographic show. I think you're just watching a naked documentary, a nature documentary.
A naked documentary with David Attenborough.
Yeah. Get into it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. No, I haven't watched You.
Neither have I.
I think I think it's toxic
it's a weird,
and stupid.
Weird concept.
And like, for what it's worth, I've heard that Penn Badgley has been very responsible about his role, and when girls lust after him publicly on Twitter because of his character, he's like, you shouldn't like this. This is don't. It's fictional. Yeah, it's not real, and this isn't something that you should want in real life ever. And I respect that
totally.
But I just I'm very wary of this interest in toxic men. Yeah. I feel like there's a section, sorry, I'm moving the microphone arm. I feel like, I'm apologizing to myself. I have to edit this now. But
that's a good point.
I feel like ever since we learned about what toxic masculinity was, now that we've like named it, we're like a section of us are okay with like engaging with it because we can call it that. And it's like, no, like naming it is step 1. Step 2 is getting rid of it.
Right.
Stop romanticizing Ted Bundy. Stop romanticizing stalking. Stop romanticizing violence against women. Stop romanticizing abuse. Like, just stop don't make any more fictional content. Don't make fictional content for the serial killer fan base. There's a million serial killer documentaries on Netflix. Like, yeah. Don't make fake stuff.
Well, that being said, I've heard You, like based on its critical response, really doesn't try to sympathize or glorify the actions of the main character.
Okay, cool.
Which is good.
Yeah.
You're just like it's like watching a slow car crash.
But I've just like seen its fan base, and it's like I don't think they're getting it. Even if the creative team is being responsible around it, I don't think the fan base is getting it.
Well, yeah, it's no different than fucking what the hell was that?
It's disappointing.
13 Reasons Why.
Yeah,
like the fan base just shifted over.
Yeah, it's
like you guys, let's go be toxic somewhere else. Yeah. But there's so many people like that, Sam. Like in regards to the serial killer. So I guess we don't necessarily need to talk about this, but today is the day after the Capitol Hill riot that happened in 2021. Yeah. And I've already seen pictures and tweets, not on my own timeline, but being like screen capped and people being like, what the fuck is this? Of like, because there was that guy wearing like the bear outfit. You see that guy?
No, I don't think I did.
There was a Trump supporter who wore like a bear fur outfit and his face was painted and he had no shirt on. Okay. He had a hairy chest and stuff. Okay. And there's been people lusting over him, being like, I don't support Trump or anything, but I would let this guy fuck me in the butt. I saw Mika Burton, a popular Twitch streamer. She's on Critical Role. She does cosplaying, calling someone out for being like, so I just saw a cosplayer on my timeline do a cosplay of Bear Guy. Dude. And let me tell you, that's real low. Not it. Yeah. Well, that's basically what she said. Like, this is not it. This is real low. Yeah. And I totally agree with what Mika Burton said about that.
That's guy, like.
But that plays into what we're talking about, where it's like people can't help but feel like grossly attracted to things that they know shouldn't be attracted to.
Aren't okay.
It's weird, man.
Yeah, it's really weird.
I was going to quote tweet some of this stuff and
it's
be
not
like,
subversive. It's just wrong.
I was like, these are the same people writing letters to serial killers and shit. Yeah. Like you're fucked. Mm-hmm. This is so fucked. Mm-hmm. You know?
And this is where like people are like, oh, it's a joke. You got to make jokes about these things. This is not how we make jokes about things.
I'm not joking.
This is not how we make jokes about things.
What joke is I want to fuck Bear Guy? It's not a joke.
Because there's no undertone of this was wrong.
Yeah.
And one of the things that everybody is trying to get across is that what happened regardless of what political side you were on, was wrong.
Disgusting, yes.
It was a disgusting display of human behavior.
It was an attack on democracy.
And I don't care, Republican, Democrat, left, right, centrist, it was wrong. That's not how democracy functions.
Yeah.
You don't do coups. You don't fucking do that shit.
Never.
So, anything that you say, whether it's a joke or whether it's serious about what happened, has to have that undertone of this wasn't okay. But when you dress up as Bear Guy, when you say, oh, like, this is kind of fucked up, but I would fuck this guy, that's not
cute.
That's not letting them know that what they did wasn't okay.
No.
You know, like, and we need to let them know that what they did wasn't okay and that they are alone in what they did.
Yes.
Yeah, it's appalling how many people descended upon the Capitol that day. But if everybody who wasn't there that day, who didn't participate in the coup or attempted coup, says, hey, that was fucked up, that's a lot of people telling approximately, what was it, like 70,000 people showed up?
I don't know.
I don't know the number, so I'm not going to say a number, but, you know, like tens of thousands of people who showed up to try and take over the Capitol that day.
More than a little.
More people will be saying what you did was messed up, and those people will feel ashamed, and then it's unlikely to happen again.
Yes.
So
they also all need to be prosecuted, for sure.
High key.
Like, they literally, I don't care.
Key,
like,
yeah.
they all have to be
Consequences.
prosecuted.
And you belittle what consequences need to happen when you say, I would fuck Bear Guy, or when you dress up as him, or when you, when you do anything that undercuts the seriousness of what just happened.
Well, that's a really good point, because I saw a lot of people, I saw a minority of people on Twitter saying things like, oh, it's just Trump supporters being fucking idiots again.
No.
It's
this
really
was a coup.
Attempted coup. And not
this is serious.
Trespassing on fucking government ground is a felony.
Federal felony, yeah.
It's a felony.
Yeah.
You go to jail for the rest of your fucking life.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
This is like, I don't think anyone that I know misunderstood the seriousness of what happened the other day. And I'm happy about that. Happy that, like, a lot of people, and like you just said, I've been seeing a lot of people on both sides be like, no, this was so wrong.
Yeah.
Like, this was like, even fucking Mitch McConnell got up and was like, okay, so this ain't it.
Yeah.
Like, this was bad.
Yeah.
Fucking Turtle Man.
Exactly.
Goddamn asshole decaying corpse Mitch fucking McConnell says it's bad.
Yeah, that ventriloquist dummy of a human being.
Fucking, like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You know?
That fucking walking nutcracker.
And it's so confusing because, like, you know, you see all these different flags. Like, I saw, like, a Don't Tread on Me flag.
Yeah.
I saw someone who had the country Georgia flag.
Oh, ha!
But not, like, the state, which they were looking for.
Yeah, yeah.
And, like, it's just, like, these people don't have a goal.
No.
That's what really got me about the riot. There's so many clips of people getting into the Capitol Hill building and then just not knowing what to do. Walking around.
I was watching live footage of somebody who was inside someone who worked at the Capitol and had to be escorted out. And she was, like, standing there recording, and she was ducking behind a counter at one point, and then she stood up, and people were just walking around.
There's no goal.
Someone just, like, walked in. She was like, this door, I forget. She was like, this door leads to some important space. And she was like, people are just walking in.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody,
probably
like,
the rotunda.
They kind of, like, opened the door, and then they, like, they looked like somebody. You know when you are looking for the bathroom in somebody's house that you haven't been in before? And you're just kind of like, you're making an educated guess as to where you think the bathroom is, but like, you don't know if that door is going to lead into a bedroom.
Oh, this is a closet, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. They were kind of just doing that.
It's like when you peek into, like, the teacher's staff room in elementary school. You're kind of like, ooh, what's in here? Oh, is that a couch?
Yeah. Am I supposed to be in here? I might be somewhere where I'm not supposed to be. Okay, here I go. And it was like that. These people didn't know, like, fine, you busted the window open and you got in.
Congratulations.
Now what?
There's no goal in mind. That was the craziest thing about the riot, is that there's so many of these fucking asshole, dumbass Trump supporters got into the Capitol building and then just fucking stood around.
Yeah.
We're screaming things like, hang Mike Pence and shit. Like, because they're so confused, right?
Yeah.
They don't know it. But these people, and Trump by extension, really have no goals in mind.
No.
They're just whatever Trump wants, right? It's the same reason why, and I'm sure it's plain for all to see, that, like, every person who was on Trump's side, who is no longer on Trump's side, all they did was say, like, Trump, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden, oh, well, Mike Pence is a part of the deep state, despite being my vice president who I picked.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just like, you're like, how the fuck it's so thinly veiled. And that's what really gets about me, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy to see how vapid and irresponsible and immature his politics are.
And how you really just wanted to be the line leader. Like, you're just a child who wanted to be the line leader. You saw someone else was the line leader and you wanted to be the line leader. So you pushed and you shoved your way to the line, and then you got to the front of the line, and then what?
Trump, it would have been easier and cheaper and better for all of us if you just rented a street in New York and threw yourself a fucking parade.
Yeah.
Save us 4 years.
Yeah.
You want to be a goddamn line leader so much.
Honestly.
You want a baton, you fucking asshole?
Yeah.
God, I goddamn fucking hate Donald Trump so much.
I know.
It really sticks in my craw.
Yeah, no, like...
Him and the Lion King movie are the two things that I hate
Don't
the most.
say that. Don't say that. Too many black people worked on that project.
Oh, it's true.
But,
I would never equate those two things.
I broke through to a different mental space yesterday.
The other day, okay, yeah.
Like, just like as a person of color, like, I know that these people are awful and that they'll stop at nothing.
Yeah.
But this was just something else.
It's wild to know that and like know it's the truth. It's a completely other thing to see it acted out.
And I've said before, you know, I'm 26, about to be 27. So I was 24 when Trump got elected. No, I was 22 when Trump got elected.
Yeah, 4 years ago, yeah.
And, you know, over the course of his presidency, you know, it's just been like low after low after low, sub-basement after sub-basement after sub-basement, displays of how low humans will stoop to make those that they feel are inferior to them, make sure that they stay where they think that they should go.
Right, the pecking order.
And when he first got elected, I wanted to fight back. I wanted to just like spread as much good as I could and in spite of it all. And at this point, it's just fostered such a feeling in me where I don't care anymore, and not in a pessimistic, you know, miserable way.
It's gone to gray. You feel gray.
I look at the display of human behavior over the last 4 years, and then like what I saw yesterday on TV, and I'm just fucking done.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Cameron, I'm beyond tired. I am done.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to believe that there are people on this earth who bleed the same way you do, but are still somehow inferior to you, I don't care to convince you otherwise anymore.
Right. You can't fix these people.
I just want to focus on displaying the best human behavior that I can display. Mm-hmm. And if you want to take inspiration from that, have at it. That's kind of why I do it. That is still kind of why I do it. I want to, if I see something wrong happening, I really want to eliminate bystander non-intervention in myself and believe that I would do something, that I would take action, and then, other people will follow suit. And I want to, especially with this pandemic going on and people still not following protocol, like I still want to, I want to show people that you can act in the best interests of someone other than yourself, and it doesn't cause you any harm. But if you don't want to do that, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You can't fix the world, Sam. That's not your responsibility.
I really do want to fix the world. I do.
You'd like that.
But I don't think I can fix the world by building a platform and trying to sell it to people.
No.
I just think that I can only be responsible for myself and my own actions. And if other people want to follow that, so cool. I want to see that. If you don't, fuck you. Get away from me. Go away.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Go off and be terrible. I don't care. I'm going to be over here with the people who want to do what I want to do.
Who want to reflect the energy that you put out into the world.
And that's living in a vacuum. And echo chambers, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, you're not unaware of this other part.
No.
That's the difference.
I simply am not interested in entertaining. I'm not interested in reaching across the aisle anymore. I'm not interested in trying to persuade. I'm not interested in building an argument around why you should be nice to people and care about somebody other than yourself.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care.
I learned that lesson in the first grade.
I don't
in kindergarten.
Care. I don't care anymore. I used to think that, if it wasn't me, someone else would reach a terrible person and make them see the error of their ways. But some people cannot be reached, and I don't care to try anymore.
Well, luckily, Sam, you're not a politician or a leader in that regard.
That's exactly why I don't want to be one.
So you don't necessarily have to concern yourself with that.
Exactly.
Like like you just said. First of all, I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah.
On that note, you're just one person, and you're acknowledging that you're just one person.
Yeah.
And yes, we have this platform where we talk into microphones, but we always make a point to not that anyone does. We're not smart enough for that.
Yeah.
But never take what we say as the 100% truth.
Yeah.
No one should ever do that.
But just to see,
even if you agree.
Yeah.
Like throw what we say against your own morals.
Yeah.
And if you learn something great,
look inside of yourself.
Yeah.
And think about how you were raised and what you believe and think, do I want to act this way? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And decide.
Yeah.
Make a decision. I'm serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, make a black or white decision. None of this gray area shit. Make a black or white decision. Say, do I think that our system of government should be decided upon or should feel threatened by, by things like coups? Yes or no?
Yeah, really.
Yes or fucking no, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, figure it out. Was what you saw yesterday disgusting to you or not? Yeah. Fucking figure it out.
It's
and
pretty.
Decide.
I have to agree with you there. Like, I like to think that when it comes to politics, everything is complicated, right? Yeah. And let me finish when I say this, but it's like there's a lot of stuff that people do, both on what I would consider to be good and what I would consider to be bad, which is so varied in all the ways that it's been set up that it's impossible to do something good without a little bit of bad.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
I can honestly say with my full heart that the Capitol Hill riots was 100% bad.
Yeah.
And there really should be no one who's defending this kind of thing.
No.
Right? Like, where's the crowd that were telling the BLM protesters this isn't how you protest?
Yeah.
Where's that crowd for actual rioting and violence?
And just
on the nation's capital.
Silent. They are definitely silent.
They're not fucking breaking into a TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
They're breaking into Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Like I said this to you last night, Sam, and as a human being living in North America, in our capitalist democratic republic where we live, I have no choice but to believe in democracy.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have democracy, what do we have? Nothing.
Yeah.
We have chaos.
Yeah.
We have the wild fucking West.
I will agree that democracy, the way that we work it, needs to work faster.
And change.
Yeah.
Things need to change.
It needs amendments.
But as a human fucking being living in a first world country, first of all, democracy is a privilege.
Yeah.
Second of all, we have to believe in it.
Yeah.
Because the order and laws, like, these things exist so we can all live peacefully with one another. Mm-hmm. And it's so weird how that's gotten skewed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it so weird how, like, there's people out there when a law gets broken and are just like, oh, well, whatever. It's like, what the fuck you mean, well, whatever? Broke a law.
Exactly.
If you were Catholic and you broke a commandment, you'd be shunned from your fucking church.
That's why I've been going fucking insane. Because
you're breaking the law.
People who are following the laws are getting in trouble, and people who are breaking the laws are not getting in trouble. Oh, and they're openly doing it, and they're getting more and more brazen about it. And I'm like,
so strange.
Hello, you're not supposed to rape people, and then people are getting in a little bit of trouble for it, but not as much trouble as they should be getting in trouble for it. And it's like, hello, what the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, this was supposed to be the thing. This was supposed to be the worst thing that a human being can possibly do. This is supposed to be terrible. And we're making it a gray issue, and it's not a gray issue. We're making things that are not supposed to be gray issues, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to walk around as if, things like coups and sexual assault and kids in cages are black and white issues. Right. That's how I'm going to operate, because I'm sick of this shit.
A lot of that shit
I'm not listening to you anymore.
Issue, I think now, yeah. Where it's like you can just be on a side.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm done.
Yeah. So scary times, man. Scary times we're living in right now.
Yeah, and it's just, I mentioned how I was like 22 when Trump was elected, and like that's so young, and it's such people in my generation who are the same age or younger or maybe a little bit older,
the
23, 24.
Sure. Yeah.
Millennials, that's when it's such a pivotal time. Your 20s, your late teens, early 20s are such a pivotal time, and you're shaping your worldview, and you deserve to exist in a space where you can just like figure it out and have those gray areas. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't have had to face the times that we were facing at the age that we had to face it at. And I am so mad that people who had the privilege to figure themselves out in peace, in more peaceful times than right now.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like,
put us through.
Okay, I see what you mean now.
What they put us through for these last 4 years. And Canada is not exempt from that. Some of the shit that we had to see in this country.
I'm going to mispronounce this probably, but the Mi'kmaq people.
Yeah.
Down in
Mi'kmaq,
Mi'kmaq, is that how you pronounce it? Okay,
that's how I saw it spelled on Twitter earlier today.
That was disgusting.
That was disgusting.
Yeah.
And finding out about, like Justin Trudeau and like all of the SNC Lavalin and the We Day shit.
Oh, and oh my God, what a
like seeing what I have had to see is unacceptable. Yeah. And what I've had to come to terms with at the age that I had to come to terms with it, I'm saying it now, and people are gonna say boo hoo. Like I lived through the Vietnam War when I was 22, and la 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 la. Fine. You shouldn't have had to go through that either. Right. It's all unacceptable. It is all unacceptable to have to see the world the way, like, I'm angry. I've accepted. All I just said about, I'm going to try and be the best person that I can be and fuck the rest of y'all. I've accepted it.
Right.
I am not happy about it.
No.
I am upset that the people who are supposed to be exemplaries in our society failed. You failed hard. And I am mad at you.
Sure.
I'm upset, and you can bet your ass that I'm going to participate in a way that, if I have any say in it, you lose your fucking job because you failed. Right. You were bad at it. Okay? I couldn't decide to just like not take groceries out for people. I couldn't decide to just like give people bad groceries, like expired food, because I fucking wanted to, because I just didn't want to go to my job that day because I had shit going on. I had to put it aside and do my job. And the people who are public servants, who signed up to be public servants, whether they knew it or not, fucking failed.
Like all these people on vacation right now. All these public servants that get caught in Canada. Like, that is, in my opinion, such a fucking disgrace.
I'm irate.
Like, every single one of these people need to be fired, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Like, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to lose your job. And you should lose your job.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how to, like, it's so sad to literally watch the fibers and glue of our society completely come undone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I understand that's like, oh, Cameron, it's not that bad. And you're probably right, but it's like, it's how it feels.
It's how it feels.
Fuck, man.
Being, at this age right now that I'm at, it's how it feels. So, like, don't think for a second that I'm not mad, but I'm done raging. And I just want action.
Right.
I'm ready to act. I'm ready to do some things. And I'm ready to make some things happen.
Well, the pandemic puts a big damper on that too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we can't ignore that.
Yeah.
It's amazing how we've gone this whole podcast without mentioning COVID once. Like, goes back to what you're saying about, like, gelling with the fucking craziness we're living in. Like, COVID has become such a fucking regular part of all of our lives that we literally spend fucking 55 minutes and didn't bring it up once.
Yeah.
Like, the global pandemic.
I was gonna say, no, it was way too late in the day yesterday where I was like I was watching footage of Capitol Hill security, who were completely overwhelmed yesterday. Obviously, it's an understatement. Trying to wrangle maskless supporters, and thinking about, and I was like, Cameron, like, this isn't, when people, have like illegal club nights and stuff like that, we call them super spreader events, and I was like, this was so much more than a super spreader event, because it wasn't about, like, these people not wearing masks. They weren't even like, oh yeah, we're not going to wear masks and give them all COVID. Like, see if it happens. Fuck you.
No, they don't believe in it.
They weren't even thinking about that anymore.
No.
But those poor employees
who didn't sign up for that, who didn't sign up for
that at all, are going to get sick.
I think I called it a COVID Krakatoa.
Yeah.
Like a COVID volcano.
Eruption. Yeah.
Like, I think it's going to be completely understated how bad it's going to be.
Political unrest aside, those people got people sick yesterday. And those poor employees were up front. They were surrounded by maskless people who are statistically, a huge chunk of them are sick.
Yeah.
Asymptomatic at least, and don't know it. And those poor people had to be in those people's faces yesterday, trying to restore order to that building. And they don't deserve that.
No.
That's fucked up.
This whole situation is fucked up, man.
I mean, there were a lot of people of color on that team too. I saw a lot of black people
in the crowd.
Working security at Capitol Hill, like wearing Capitol Hill security.
I don't see any fucking black people in the Trump supporting crowd.
There were obviously some, like, statistically speaking, like, come on, there are black people for Trump.
There's a shocking amount of I saw a lot of Vietnamese flags, actually.
Oh, that's
disappointing.
Good. Yeah.
I no comment on that. I don't know. But
we're just saying people of color were there.
Of course.
And I can't be ignorant to that. But no, I'm talking about the people of color. Like this pandemic affects people of color so differently, especially in the United States where healthcare is such a mess.
And so skewed.
And you can't afford to get sick.
Totally.
And black people are afraid of doctors, as they should be, rightly so,
they
in the
have
first
a good reason,
place.
a very good reason.
And those people put those people in a precarious situation when you think about the increments of all of that.
Totally.
And it's just fuck all y'all.
Yeah, man.
Fuck all y'all.
It was early in the year, but definitely a dark moment for the world. Dark moment for America. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's it's just watching CNN last night was so chilling at points.
Yeah.
Because we literally watched.
I honestly felt like I was in a scene in The Crown.
Yeah, honestly.
Whenever they cover a big historical event like the moon landing or a war or that the fog thing or whatever, where everyone's sitting still and the camera pans around and it makes everything look like a tableau. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was in one of those scenes in The Crown.
Yeah.
It was like you said, it was bone chilling.
It was chilling.
I was frozen in time in that moment.
I'll share the part that really, really got me. So you and I on this podcast, you and I on our Twitch streams and on Twitter and joking with people in our Discord, we make comments about if worse comes to worse, there might be a civil war. However,
say that. I take that shit seriously.
No, of course. I take it seriously as well. But it is mostly up until yesterday, I was logistically speaking, how would that happen, right? Mm-hmm. Yesterday we found out how.
Yeah.
And someone for the first time, and this seriously chilled me to my core, someone on CNN, an analyst, said we're staring down the barrel of a civil war. And that is the first time I've heard someone in a news publication say that.
It's an inciting incident.
And I was it made it real.
I know that I know that they secured the Capitol now, but this is an inciting incident that could lead to war.
It's so fucked up. It's just, and I understand. I know y'all listen at home. Maybe not. This might not be what you listen to Chill Spot for, but we all experienced this yesterday.
We can't ignore it,
though. We can't not talk about this.
Yeah.
We made episode 50. We made a mission statement, and we were following through on said mission statement.
Yeah.
And this also is a bit of processing for us. As I hope you're all on board.
We said this in our mission statement. Processing helps you feel chill. So we're not stepping away from what we do here.
And we're not trying to depress you all.
Yeah.
And I hope this isn't depressing.
I saw this and I vowed within myself to just be better.
Totally.
And I don't give a fuck about convincing the type of people who want to explain down or explain away what happened yesterday. I don't give a shit about them anymore. And you shouldn't either. You shouldn't spend your energy on it. You should be a good person. If you're not the kind of person who would ever participate in a coup, then go and be the kind of person
already
who
better
doesn't
than half of America.
Yeah. And maybe that's a bright spot, I'm going to take this event and I'm going to be so aggressively better than the bullshit people who would do that sort of thing. And I don't even mean I'm gonna give $1 to a homeless man today. I mean I'm going to take the time and learn about when elections take place, and what would lead to an election in my country, in my region, so that I can participate in democracy and learn and be better in that sense. That's what I'm going to do to be aggressively better than the people who rushed the Capitol yesterday. I said this yesterday in my stories. I'm going to start. I said I was too nice to do this before, but I'm going to start not giving a shit. When I hear some shit at a function, let's say, in a couple of years, things get a little bit better. We can start going over to people's houses again. And, we start hanging out with family members who are problematic. If I start hearing some shit, I'm fucking leaving.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. You might say you gotta say something to them. No. Me getting up from a table and leaving the room for all to see says something. Mm-hmm. I'm not tolerating, but they have different views. This is your uncle and blah, blah, blah.
We're so past this.
I'm not, I'm going to start not tolerating that shit anymore.
Honestly, Sam, I totally agree. I also think you won't have to, because there's so many people in my life, and as well as you'd probably experience this. I imagine everyone listening at home experienced this as well. COVID and Trump has drawn some pretty clear lines.
It's made people show their true colors and illuminated some things that we were consciously ignoring before.
Yes, the notion of tolerance, and I don't mean like tolerance towards like people of color, indigenous, gay people, whatever. Yeah. I mean like the idea of like putting up with something you don't like about someone because it's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
It has been proven now with COVID and Trump that there are some opinions that people have that are straight up harmful.
Yeah.
Like incite violence and invite violence and push forth the notion of the degeneration of humanity.
Yeah.
And those are the people you're going to have to avoid.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, as one guy, as one person who speaks into a microphone, I don't know how to help those people anymore.
No.
What questions do you ask?
And I'm not expending the energy to do it anymore.
Well, it's not my responsibility, in my opinion.
No, it's not even about responsibility. I'm not cool with taking the energy.
Right.
When I can be doing better things.
Sure. It's a waste of energy is what it is.
Like I say, I'm done with words. Action. I want action. I want verbs.
Totally.
I want movement. I want things done and say, I did this, you know? Speaking is part of it. I will say that. But at this point, I'm so beyond sitting at a table and listening to someone say some shit about immigration and just being like, well, you know, there's this point, this point, this point. No, fuck you. Goodbye. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm done. Mm-hmm. I'm so done.
Right.
Goodbye.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And a lot to what you just said, and a lot of what I'm saying as well has to do with the fact that so many of these burns are like fresh.
Yeah.
And like been scalded over for 4 years. You know, like we got big old scabs on our brains and hearts from like repeated damage, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, there has to be a shift in political conversation where like I've noticed so much in terms of politics and like, again, this has a lot to do with the left media that I consume and we make no bones about being left-leaning people. I try to find neutral sources and I tend to actively look for conservative sources as well, just to see what other people, what they're reading, right? To see the same event, what is being said to the other side, so I can fully grasp the situation. And there's so much of like, on the left, is the party for not boiling and eating puppies.
Yeah.
And on the right is like, well, it's my constitutional right to eat a fucking puppy.
Yeah.
Should I won't.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is that an argument?
Yeah.
Like, how has political discourse devolved to this point?
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
I just don't get it anymore.
Hey guys, I think this is a bad idea. You're taking away my right to do bad ideas. I'm like,
okay. like, how do I respond to that?
Yeah.
You know? And again, I'm making, like, let me make myself really clear. I'm making a gross generalization here, and I'm being hyperbolic.
Yeah.
And politics is so complicated.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that every single person on the right is a bad person. However, it is kind of getting to a guilty till proven innocent kind of thing.
At this point, if you're like still there, why are you still there when you're seeing what it breeds?
I would definitely need, it would be a conversation.
It's the enabling for me.
Yeah.
It's if you're on that side, regardless of the, like, you know, if you're like, oh, well, I'm a fiscal conservative, it's a money thing. Okay, fine. If your concern is money, but there are people on your side whose concern is like money and also making people's lives miserable. Well, and you being on their side makes them think that you're on their side because you're not actively saying, I am against making people's lives miserable.
And also, not for anything, but the conservative fiscal spending plan is bullshit. And you know this. Like, come on. Like, from a pure politics angle, the way our money is currently being spent, and I mean, in regards to Canada, is just nonsense. Like, the funding isn't going to where it needs to go. And if you're a fiscal conservative, how could you honestly look at me with a straight face and say that you're happy with the spending plan currently in Ontario? There's just, like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. That's why I'm just like, how are you still on the right at all?
It's confusing. It's confusing and complicated.
But yeah, I just, I'm not fighting anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be better for myself.
Action, Sam. Action.
Action.
Yes. We're just going to make ourselves the best people we can be.
Yep.
And that is all that we're responsible for.
Hell yeah.
And I think that goes for everybody, frankly. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Sam, on a positive note.
Yes, Cam.
What is the one thing that you are looking forward to the most in 2021?
Roller skating.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Buying my first set of roller skates.
Getting into that. Totally.
Hobbies.
Yes.
Getting into hobbies.
Well, you've never really been into hobbies. Like, you have, like, interests, but you don't really have, like, hobbies.
Yeah.
And like people are gonna, what's the difference? Well, an interest is something that like you pursue constantly.
Yeah.
But a hobby is just like blind, dumb fun.
Yeah.
Like Dungeons and Dragons is a hobby.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You take it seriously. You want to get good at it.
Yeah.
And like, what does being good mean? Like you want to learn more about it.
Yeah.
For fun.
Yeah.
That's what a hobby is, right?
Yeah.
So good for you, Sam.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And I got really lucky. So the artist exchange thing, plus just like, you know, like the way that I've been saving money lately, the artist exchange paid me, and I'm satisfied with where my savings are at for right now. The money that I was able to put away using that I have enough money left over, and I can buy it for myself.
There you go.
I can justify it, and I'm comfortable, and I'm happy.
It's a justified,
I'm happy to do it, and
selfish purpose.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I can be totally selfish. And I can't wait for this lockdown to be over. And I know of a store in London, and, you know, like I'm going to make a day out of it. I'm going to fucking go to London. I'm going to talk to, I found a really nice, you know, company or store, and I'm going to learn about it. And I'm going to buy my first set of, you know, like skates and protective gear. And I'm going to cover my helmet in stickers, fun stickers. And I just can't wait.
Good for you, Sam.
I'm really looking forward to it. What about you?
What about me? This is kind of a baby answer, but I miss my friends, man.
Yeah.
Like I know you do too, and I don't want you
Everyone
to
does.
I don't want you to think that like, oh, but I should have picked that. No, but
no, I don't. I know.
You don't understand. Like I spent at least one night a week with my friends.
Yeah.
For 10 years.
Yeah.
Like you don't understand how the withdrawal that I've gone through of just like literally not spending time with my friends. And everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everyone has a similar feeling.
Yeah. Not being able to see our friends and well, yeah, this lockdown has sort of illuminated what relationships I do want to put effort into.
Absolutely.
Because we have had to work on our friendships. It's not so easy. Like we took it for granted. And I knew this before the lockdown, how much I took it for granted, because I would go for weeks without seeing my friends. And then I'd be like, hey, like, let's all hang out. And then we would get together because we had the privilege to do that.
To do so, yes.
I took it for granted. And now that I have to work on my friendships, I know who I want to be close with. And it's so interesting because like, yes, like the people that I thought I would get through this pandemic with are going through it with me, and they're next to me, and I love it. There are people who have surprised me.
Yes, me too.
Who I talk to still, who I'm like, wow, I care about you, and I want to see you.
Well, you see,
and I think about the day where I get to see them, and I think I'll cry.
Oh yeah, are you kidding me?
I think the first time I really hang out with my friends who I want to spend time with, like I can't wait for the first laugh.
Oh yeah.
Like the first time we make each other laugh in person and we laugh together, and I'll just fucking cry. I know I will.
Oh, listen.
I'm tearing up right now thinking about it, honestly. I might cry on mic.
I'll say with my whole chest, boys, you know who I'm talking to when I say that. If you're listening to this podcast, I want to let you know that I'm hugging each and every one of you individually and then as a group when this is all over.
Yeah.
Because holy shit, do I miss my friends? Do I miss fucking yucking it up with the guy? Like, there are so many times, like, we obviously talk in group chats. Yeah. You know, we do the FaceTimes and stuff.
Yeah.
And that sort of is like an ointment to the burn. But it's not, it's like the sugar-free cereal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But no, I want what I had, which is hanging out with my friends, playing fucking Super Smash Brothers, which is, it's insane how long it's been since we've done that together.
Yeah.
And really just getting back to that, because I had a friend clock me actually this year. A very good friend of mine clocked me and said like, man, listen, like we don't hear from you enough, you know?
Yeah.
We don't like, we all want to talk to you. And outside of these group calls, we don't hear from you ever. And I realized that, like you just said, taking relationships for granted in the sense that like, A, I'm not much of a texter, but B, I never really text my friends because we'd see each other every week on the week, minimum once a week, right? Sometimes 2-3 times a week. Like, these guys are my family.
Yeah.
And I used to see them all the time.
Yeah.
And he clocked me and was like, I want to hear from you more. And it's really opened my eyes on how I need to be more open. Yeah. And how I need to be the one that reaches out for. I think it's really easy to get into a rut of like, no one ever talks to me. Yeah. But like, you don't ever talk to anybody either. Yeah. Right?
Totally.
And that's a two-way street.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that when you put yourself out there more, and when you initiate more conversations, and when you contribute to more conversations, that people will talk to you.
If anything, people are excited. You're like, finally, Cam
Yes.
is like, this is what I knew that Cam had this inside of him the whole time. And,
Yeah.
and I'm finally hearing it. Yes, finally.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that he did that.
It's been a very rewarding, and it's something that's opened my eyes to me knowing that's what I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so many times when you think of personal change, it's like a chore until it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
This was exactly what I wanted immediately.
Yeah.
And it just needed to be pointed out to me.
Yeah.
And honestly, without going into it, it's a far deeper issue with me and sharing, and it's something because I learned about myself that I actually need very little from a relationship in terms of like an interpersonal friendship relationship.
Yeah.
Like, if you're there for me when I need you, and we hang out every now and then, and we laugh and goof and gaff, and I know about your life, like, that's enough.
That's fulfilling for you.
It's fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
It's not for others.
Yeah.
So I was getting my fill, and others weren't getting their fill of me.
Yeah.
And that's a big change that I'm working on changing. You know?
Yeah.
Even just like, you know, like I do check-in messages, obviously, like, hey guy, how you doing this week? Like, how was your week this week, right?
Yeah.
But I'll even do something like if I watched something or did something like that this person is also doing or recommended me to do, I'll text them and be like, hey man, this thing that you willed me to watch was awesome.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it and getting in the habit of doing that has made me realize the relationships I want to keep going.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm trying to like, it's funny because I think about the people that I love all the time, right?
Well,
like I see things out in the world and I'm like, oh, like, you know, Emily would really like that. Oh, Kelsey would really like that. I know that this person's really into this thing. And then I do nothing. And it's like, text them, you know, take a picture of the thing and be like, oh my God, this is so funny, isn't it? And then you have a conversation about it. And then you're a little bit closer for it.
The things that are, I'll use my mom as an example. The things that we thought our parents did that were like corny and annoying is legitimately how you keep friendships going.
Yeah.
My mom will do that. My mom will be out and about and be like, oh, my friend Mary would love this, and take a picture and be like, check this out, Mary.
Yeah.
And then they have like a little one-worded conversation back and forth because they're not good texters. But like, they'll get in person and talk about that for like 3 hours next time they can.
Yeah.
But that's literally how you do it.
Yeah.
There is so much, you know me, I'm definitely afraid of being annoying.
Yes.
It's a big social thing of mine where like, I think that I can be a very high energy, a lot of to deal with kind of person, especially when I get excited about something. And the last thing I ever want to do is make someone uncomfortable or make someone exhausted that I'm around them.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I thought like texting out of the blue and like sparking up conversation out of nowhere was me being exhausting.
Gotcha.
And obviously it wasn't. I've learned.
Well, here's the thing about that. I think it's only exhausting if you demand a response immediately. Yeah. See, my whole thing is that, and I've told people this straight up before, is like, if I text you, like, hey, like, I saw this in the store the other day and it made me think of you, you don't have to text me today. No. You don't have to get back to me tomorrow.
It's like an email.
You know, I'm not trying to make plans with you. It's not time sensitive. No. So like, if I text you and you're having a bad day and you can't answer right away, or you don't want to answer right away, fucking whatever, man. Like, it's just a thing. It's just a hobby thing. You know, if you have the time and the energy for it, let's talk about it. You know, I always want to hear from you. You're someone that I care about. I'm not putting this much effort into it because I don't. So get back to me when you get back to me. Yeah. And that's totally fine.
I'm working really hard to not be offended by read receipts anymore. Yes. Like, I didn't realize how much it was weighing on me.
We were both really bad about that. If you think about it. Like, I remember we used to be like, we did the thing that I say is like annoying. We would say, why don't you just? Yeah. And we'd be like, why don't you just answer your text messages? Just answer your text messages. I think we've said that like on a podcast before, or like somewhere on the channel. Definitely. Like it's evidence. We've said like, just answer your text messages. But everybody's got different energies. Everybody's got shit going on in their lives. And I still contend to this day that if someone is trying to make plans with you, or if they're trying to talk to you about work, it's time sensitive. Answer different. Quickly.
That's different.
Get good at that.
If it's time sensitive, you also have to put yourself in the headspace of like, okay, for instance, like a big change that we've made in recent months is that you and I, due to our unemployment, have changed our work schedules to become work schedules. Yeah, we don't wake up at noon like we're 14 in a summer break anymore. You know, we wake up early and eat a good breakfast, and then get to fucking work. Yeah. So any messages I get in regards to my work, like emails from my agent, emails from other people, like people reaching out to me about creative stuff, that's time sensitive stuff that I'm
gotta get
focused on at the moment. A text from my buddy asking if they want to do like a social distance car meetup later, I can answer that at 6 p.m.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Right? That doesn't matter.
Exactly. And that, like, understand what kind of message you're sending so that you can manage your emotions around the response, responsibly.
Yes.
So, like, yeah, like, if I just, like, text you about a hangout, like a casual hangout, fine, whatever. Get back to me whenever. But, yeah, time sensitive, get good at answering that shit. But other than that, answer me in 3 days. I don't give a fuck.
It's so cool.
I've had people text me back and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought that I responded to this text message and I just realized I left you unread. And I was like, we were talking about memes.
It's fine, bro.
We were just exchanging memes back. If anything, I was out of memes to send you. Like, you did me a solid.
And something I've been working on in terms of this, and this might help you as well, is to remind yourself of how much communication with friends is nonverbal.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, when you see a read receipt, right? When you see those dreaded words or the bubble on Messenger of someone reading your message and not responding, everyone's brains, mine included, goes right to the place of like, they read this and went, ugh. Yeah. And like put their phone away.
Yeah.
You know what they probably did? They looked at it and went, if it was a meme, they went, and then put their phone away.
Exactly.
That's probably what they did.
Exactly.
But everyone's brains go to the negative
I try
place.
and actively envision like my friend reading what I read, like smiling and going like, and then like putting their phone down and maybe like picking up a game controller and like having fun playing a game. And then like my message has aided in their enjoyment of the game because it's like they had a good interaction and then they went and did something that they enjoyed. And that makes me happy. My friends doing things that make them happy. So no harm, no foul.
It's just so easy to go to that negative place. Especially, I mean...
like, replace that negative image with a positive image.
2021, Sam. I'm doing it. I'm about to do it. Fucking Twitter. Ruins this for everybody.
You're going to delete Twitter?
No, never. I can't delete Twitter. I exist on Twitter. It's unfortunate, but I'm chained.
You're into it,
I'm chained to Twitter.
Yeah.
But no, Twitter makes it so you believe that things like being left on red, like these social faux pas are like the end of the fucking world when they really aren't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a problem with Twitter as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, you faced it. I faced it. We read something on Twitter that's like, oh, but all these people agree, so it must be the truth. There's like maybe 100 people in this thread talking about this.
Yeah.
That is nobody. That is 100 people. There are 7 billion people on the planet.
8 billion at this point.
Probably.
Yeah.
There's 100 people. That is fucking nothing.
Yeah.
That's less than 1% of the people you should give a shit about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but that's a hard lesson to learn.
Yeah, it is.
And even those at home might not agree with what I'm saying right now. And that's fine if you don't. But it's certainly something that I've been trying to work out of myself. You know? Understanding that on the whole, most social interactions are either neutral or positive. Right?
Yeah.
It's no different than like, so, okay. This is kind of tangential, so let me explain. When I meet up with Buddy Brad, basically the only friend I still see, we're in our separate cars and it's safe.
Yeah.
Or we've deemed it to be safe, right? Sometimes I'll make a comment or Brad will make a comment about how we look sus, how we're a couple of guys in cars. Have you ever walked by someone's car and looked in?
No.
Exactly. So no one clocks that we're here unless we're being loud and idiotic, which we never are. So relax. 90% of your own social interactions in person are neutral or positive.
Yeah.
So is everybody else. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Honestly.
It's so easy to forget that it's that way.
Yeah.
And I'm just working on reminding myself of that.
I know.
Constantly.
It's like I can't stress enough like the peace that the peace of mind that it gives you.
It's no different than like, okay, so I'll send a meme to my D&D group.
Yeah.
And like no one in that group is particularly like
chatty
or texty or whatever, right? And you know, they'll all read it and not respond. But I like to hope that like one of them looked at the meme and went like,
yeah.
Or like they saw like I want to play on this day and they're like, cool. They said, okay, cool, let me go to my calendar or whatever.
Yeah.
But they didn't like respond.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to respond. Because if we were talking in person, they'd probably just go like, all right. And that's it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Like not everything garners a response.
No, and it's exhausting to ask that of your loved ones.
Of course.
So just don't do that to them.
And that's what I'm working on this year, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we managed to turn this around.
Yeah. We gave something more to think about. For the people at home.
Yeah. And you know, I'm really sorry, everybody. I know I have nothing to be sorry about, but like I I feel with you about the bullshit that is this planet.
We all feel this way. We all feel this way.
There's some fuckery going on, and it's not cool, and it's not good. But keep creating. Don't put any of that shit back out into the world because that's not productive. And just take care of yourself.
We're
first.
Here. We're here. Join our Discord and chat with us.
What is that Maya Angelou quote that Beyonce used in Homecoming? Tell the truth to yourself first, and then everybody else. Yeah.
I mean, even if that's not the quote, that's pretty good advice.
Something like that. Yeah.
Tell the truth to yourself.
Tell it to yourself first.
Everyone, work on yourselves. That's all you're responsible for.
Yeah.
And be the best person you can be.
And it'll spread, I promise. I know you're worried about the rest of the world. If you're anything like me, I know you're worried about the rest of the world. And thank you for caring about something bigger than yourself. Really, thank you. But I promise that if you work on yourself and you be the best person that you can be, it'll spread.
And if you're in a position in a position to make real change, like,
do your fucking job.
Well, okay. Let me say, I don't think any politicians listen to our podcast. If you're in a leadership role or whatever, don't be afraid to make positive change. Don't be afraid to rock the boat.
The people who created negative change made no bones about doing what they did.
Yeah.
So you confidently and brazenly go in the other direction.
Yes.
If they can do it that way, we can do it the good way.
Yes.
Boldly and brazenly and aggressively kind.
Mm-hmm. And as always, folks, listen, we're here for 2021.
Yep.
We'll be here every week.
Yep.
Talking all sorts of bullshit.
Hell yeah.
We love you.
Yeah.
And we're here for you.
Yeah.
And this has been a great episode.
Yeah.
And we can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and YouTube every Tuesday at 3 p.m. On streaming services. We go up a little bit earlier. If you want, you can rate us on a streaming service that allows reviews. You have no idea how much it helps.
Yes.
We're apparently the 54th best comedy podcast in Thailand. So
shout out to Thailand.
Whoa, Thailand.
Yes.
Like, so cool that that's the case.
Actually, apparently, like, Thailand is doing really great COVID wise. So I'm very proud to be good in that state, in that country.
But to be granted, comedy podcast, it's less saturated than you think.
Happy to be here.
Hey, I got an email the other day from this guy because apparently, like, we've been automatically added to this service that sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Like, allocates or whatever all of our reviews into one place to see where we're charting and where we're reviewing. So yeah, I think last I got we were like 54th or 56th or something on the Thailand Apple Podcast charts.
Sick.
For comedy podcasts.
Sick.
I have how? I don't know.
I don't care.
Like, who fucking
Happy
cares?
to be here.
It could be lying. I don't know. I'm taking that in stride.
Thailand sounds like a sick place.
I would like to go to Thailand.
Yeah.
But listen, folks, thank you so much for listening.
Love you.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.